The following is an original A Livin' podcast.
Alright guys, Martinsville. What did we think of it?
Barely passing, but there's been some good racing.
Better than last year.
Better than last year,
anyways.
Well, yeah, that is definitely good to hear. I mean, I barely even saw a lot of the stuff that was going on throughout the weekend from Trucks Xfinity Cup. Some of it was wet, some of it was fiery, another was just I don't know, man. I don't know personally. But we're going to talk about all that right now in our 36th overall edition of GTN. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Elijah Leonard, the host, co-host Wyatt Walker. Over to the left of your screen, to the very bottom, that is Mr. Nathan Stapleton, that big staple over there. So, gentlemen, I'm sure the both of you have watched the races throughout this weekend. You guys would know way more than I would from moment to moment. So, I'm going to let you guys take over this one.
Well, how much of the truck race did you watch, Stapleton?
I watched none of the truck race, basically. Why when I started watching it, they went down pit road and the race was over, so I have no.
So, then I guess I can put my perspective in a little bit. Because I didn't know, I thought the race was over when I started watching it, when I had that delay, didn't know about it. But I started watching it, I think it was like the end of stage 1. And can't remember everything that happened to it, but I do know that Corey Heim dominated that race.
Oh yeah.
Corey Heim dominated that race. Behind Zane Smith, had a really fast truck too. He was doing pretty well, and not just Corey Heim dominated, but his whole team, as in like whole Tricon Garage, about finished in the top 10, except for Dean Thompson. Every driver finished in top 10. We had a lot of fast trucks. Trying to think. Carson Hocevar was fast too. Then at the very end, wasn't it like at the 10th? Trying to remember if it was like.
From what I heard from that event, from that particular moment in the race that ended up happening, Carson got a lot of heat over what he did on the backstretch at Martinsville when he took out, I think it was Taylor Gray, because he was sandwiched 3 wide. Then he bounced off of Taylor a little bit, and then I don't know what got him pissed off at the very beginning. To begin with, he just drives straight into the right rear. But in the process, he took himself out, man. Like,
yeah. I don't know.
He didn't wreck out, but yeah.
No, he didn't wreck out. He just wrecked himself.
He just cost him 2 laps. Actually, didn't. Oh yeah, he did cost him 2 laps. But other than that, the racing was pretty okay. Kyle, even if it was long, I don't think Kyle Busch would have had anything for Corey Heim.
I don't think so.
Matty D was all over the place. He had a good finish. I think the one person that surprised me, who was up in the top 10 the whole time, probably could have had some for Heim, Ty Majeski.
Oh, easily. Yeah. I feel like Majeski would have had probably one of the best chances of catching Heim, in my honest opinion.
Before we go over the finishing results, a couple of high notice drivers. I think I saw Colby Howard got some good stage points, finish up in finished up good positions. This time in Martinsville, great run for Colby. It actually reminded me of the Lucas Oil race. I think it's what that sponsor was called. The Indy short track.
IRP, Indianapolis Raceway Park.
Yeah. I think the sponsor was Lucas Oil, wasn't it?
It was called O'Reilly Raceway Park, and then
O'Reilly.
Lucas Oil Raceway. Yeah.
Yep.
So I was in the ballpark. I just couldn't remember the full name. But either way, it reminded me of that. It reminded me of Colby Howard when he did so well that race. So, and then another hat. Where was he? I saw Jake Garcia come up in that top 10 a couple times too. So
yeah, that's good.
So, do you want? So let's go ahead. You want to go over this, or do you want us to go over it?
I might as well. I've got the results pulled up anyway. So of course.
I mean, I do too.
So of course, the number 11 truck, how ironic, ends up winning in a range-shortened race after 124 laps that were complete. Kyle Busch finishing in the second position for the third consecutive truck race that he's been in since he won at Vegas, possibly.
Probably.
But Zane Smith coming home in third, Ty Majeski fourth, Tanner Gray completing the top five, Ben Rhodes finishing in sixth, Matt DiBenedetto seventh, Taylor Gray eighth, William Salowich, Sawalich.
I don't know.
I'm just gonna say Sawalich. He comes home ninth. Not bad for him, honestly. And Chase Purdy rounding out the top 10. First race. You've come home, first race in your debut, in the number 1 truck, first start, like I said, you come home instead of the top 10. Not bad at all. Nicholas Sanchez, well, from 11th through 20th down in this order, Nicholas Sanchez, Ross Chastain, Jake Garcia, Grant Enfinger, Christian Eckes, Chris Wright, Colby Howard, Connor Jones, who was also making his debut that night, finishing in the 18th position, then Timmy Hill, and then Haley Deegan. Not as good as Bristol, or not as good as Bristol or Texas, the previous 2 races before for trucks, but still solid enough, I'd say. She rounds out the top 20. And then we have from 21st through 30th, Dean Thompson, Brett Holmes, Spencer Boyd, Memphis Villarreal, okay, Raja Karuth, Matt Crafton, Tyler Ankrum, Caden Honeycutt, Jonathan Schaefer, and Stuart Friesen completing the top 30. And then the final 6 finishers goes as follows: Daniel Dye, Lawless Allen, Mason Massey, Carson Hosevar, Brad Perez, and Stephen Malozzi, or Stefan Malozzi. I'm going to say Stefan Malozzi, rounding out the 36 truck field 8 laps down. Nobody went out of the race, so that's not bad. All right, no retirees.
But tough break for like Matt Crafton and Stuart Friesen. Matt Crafton had issues under the hood the whole race. He's lucky he didn't end up leaving the race early. And Stuart Friesen was running good, but then had issues. So,
all right. What about Xfinity?
I watched Xfinity. What about you, Stapleton?
I somewhat did. I kind of watched it and I kind of didn't. I didn't really pay attention to it fully, but bits and pieces. More than the truck race.
I feel like Xfinity was up and down. First off, dominated by John Nemechek.
198 laps led. Oh my gosh, man.
But by far dominated that race.
Yeah.
The racing was pretty good, obviously. It was like we said, dominated by John Nemechek. Sammy Smith led a few laps. Cole Custer, who got the pole, started a few laps. No surprise that Josh Berry led a good handful of laps.
Oh no, yeah, not surprised about at all with that one.
But here's what's surprising: Junior Motorsports was doing good, but Allgaier did not have a good race. Allgaier, his finish, yes, he finished good, but the whole race, he was like, what, in the 20s?
That whole entire night?
He was about, like, he was in the low field. He was not having a good race. The only reason he finished that place, he did pit strategy.
Oh, wow.
He did pit strategy and old tires.
And it paid off.
That's what got him. Paid off really good. Good finish. He was running good. Old tires started to come out at the very end, but he finished in a good position. Well deserved and surprised. Hats off to rookie Parker Retzloff. He was running top 10 that whole race. He didn't finish top 10. One past it, but pretty good. See, who else can I mention? Like, no surprise, Junior Motorsports was doing all that well. Derek Kraus has been doing really well in that number 10 car.
That's his second straight top 10 finish.
Yeah, 2 starts in a row and well, not in a row, but 2 starts in both of them with top 10s.
That's not bad.
All of Colleague is in the top 10.
Yeah, look at that.
Brett Moffitt has a good finish too. I mentioned Parker Retzloff finishing almost top 10. His teammate Jeb Burton was actually running top 10 a few times.
Yeah.
So the racing was pretty interesting. It's hard to say a lot about it because of the domination of John Hunter Nemechek. Well-deserved win, and he caught on fire at the very end when his burnout.
And ironically enough, he was sponsored by like a fire company or something.
No. It's the fire extinguisher that is used at that track.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I know. It's not just any fire. It's not just any fire extinguisher company. It's the one that Martinsville uses. That's what's funny.
That's funny.
I just find that kind of.
That's funny. So,
let me get these two out of the way before you do that. The tough break, 2 tough breaks in this has to be Riley Herbst and Sam Mayer, 2 drivers who were up in the top 10 the whole time, and then got caught up in an accident. Ryan Truex got underneath Sam Mayer, and I think it was 1 and 2, and then had Sarah move up, and then Riley Herbst had nowhere to go. Nothing he could do, and then not great finishes for Herbst and Mayer, but they were a couple classes of the field too. They didn't lead, but they were up there.
Yeah. So, to review your finishing results for the Xfinity race in Martinsville, they go as follows. John Hunter Nemechek, of course, the obvious winner. Sammy Smith finishing in the second position, then Cole Custer third, Josh Berry fourth, Brandon Jones completed the top 5, and then we have Justin Allgaier 6th, Daniel Hemrick 7th, 7-11, Derek Kraus coming home in 8th, Brett Moffitt 9th, and then Chandler Smith completed the top 10. From 11th through 20th, they go as follows. Parker Retzloff, Ryan Truex, Blaine Perkins, Jeb Burton, Kaz Gralla, Austin Hill, Parker Kligerman, Ryan Sieg, Josh Williams, and Jeffrey Earnhardt all rounding out the top 20. And then from 21st down to 30th, they go as follows. Patrick Emmerling, wow, I can read. Matt Mills, Gray Gaulding, Anthony Alfredo, Leylon Honeyman, Alex LeBay, Sheldon Creed, Ryan Ellis, Brendan Poole, and Riley Herbst all completed the top 30. And then the final 8 finishers, Sam Mayer, Jeremy Clements, Connor Mosack, Kyle Weatherman, Kyle Sieg, Dawson Cram, Joe Graff Jr., and Caden Honeycutt, who went out of the race, who was one of the first retirees to go out of the race on lap 83 due to engine issues. So, now let's get to our main event. The NOCO 400 at Martinsville.
And this one I saw the entirety of it. And I will say I'm probably one of the few people that actually somewhat enjoyed the race. It was not great, but definitely a lot better than last year's spring race. And I think it was kind of in between what we saw at Phoenix and then what we saw at Richmond this year with this short track package. Because it was not as good as Richmond, but it was not as bad as much as Phoenix. Definitely saw a lot more passes, and I fairly enjoyed it. There's actually a good amount of passing this time around.
I will say, even if you have a fast car, like probably one of the fastest cars, it is hard to get up through traffic.
Mm-hmm.
If you have like a bad penalty, like what happened to Ryan Priest, who I thought was going to pull a John Nemechek and lead most of those laps and probably have a shot to win the race. I was actually rooting for Ryan Priest to win this race. Which now we bring up the Cup Series real quick. If Josh Berry, if we learned about this, we'll probably get to that in the stories here in a bit. But like, if we would have learned that Chase Elliott is going to be back, literally like a few days before they announced him coming back, I would have picked Ryan Priest as my dark horse. Yeah, I was debating him and Josh Berry. My gut somewhat told me to go Josh Berry, and then he wasn't even in the race. And Elijah's making a face because he chose him to win.
Yeah, because it's not just that. We chose them as dark horses and winners and all that for the Cup side. And then literally 10 minutes before last week's episode even dropped, that's when the announcement came out.
I think I was the only one that didn't even say anything about Josh Bailey for Cup. I don't think I did. But yeah.
Yeah, I
don't
know, man. What can you do?
I'd say for a couple of these drivers, it's been it was up and down. I do say Ryan Priest did finish in the top 15, but that was hard work. It is hard to pass in that pack.
Yeah.
So that's what kind of sucked. And I saw a lot of surprise leaders. I shouldn't say surprise, but it's like,
yeah,
there were some drivers who actually impressed me, had speed. Mainly the Stewart Haas cars.
Oh yeah, all four were fast, not just Harvick, but all four.
Yeah.
Priest was the biggest surprise. I'm debating if it's Priest or Almirola that's the biggest surprise.
I'm not too surprised about Priest with it being a short track. Honestly, yeah. I'm a little bit surprised with Briscoe and Almirola.
Well, Briscoe, I don't think it's a real surprise because I think he did pit strategy, but he was leading before Bell overtook him last October.
Sure.
So that one kind of surprised me. Harvick, he's a veteran. That one kind of surprised me. It's good to see that whole team do pretty well. Martrex Jr. had an up and down day. Had a terrible car. I mean, like in the beginning, qualified top 10. Perfect. Started dropping back. Then at the final stage, got the car. Could have actually, if it went to 500 laps, I think Truex could have had some for Larson at the very end.
Possibly. Okay.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you were going to say something. Forgot.
I was going to say a couple other drivers that had some surprising finishing runs at the end was Ricky Stenhouse Jr. It's weird to say this. And a surprise run from Chase Elliott coming back to get a top 10.
Yeah.
He didn't have a good car either.
Yeah.
But yet somehow came back to get a top 10. Impressive, Chase Elliott.
So it looks like he fought hard. I mean, especially starting 24th in that event.
Yeah.
That's nuts, man. That's nuts. Okay. You got any other ones, or we good?
I think I'm good. I think I'm good right now.
Okay. So, our finishing results from the Cup race in Martinsville. Of course, Kyle Larson the winner. Joey Logano coming home in second. Martin Truex Jr. third. Denny Hamlin fourth. Chase Briscoe completed the top five. Eric Almirola finally has gotten a ridiculously good finish after the terrible start to the season that he's had. Ryan Blaney coming home in seventh. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. eighth. Bubba Wallace ninth. Chase Elliott, of course, after his broken shin bone, we'll say, coming home inside of the top 10 after his injury, we'll say, rather. Alex Bowman, this is from 11th through 20th, by the way, in this order. Alex Bowman, Austin Dillon, Ross Chastain, Chris Buescher, Ryan Preece, Christopher Bell, Daniel Suarez, Ty Gibbs, Michael McDowell, and Kevin Harvick all completed the top 20. And then from 21st down to 30th, Kyle Busch, Tyler Reddick, William Byron, Brad Keselowski, Todd Gilliland, Corey LaJoie, AJ Allmendinger, Justin Haley, Harrison Burton, and Noah Gragson all completing the top 30. And then the final 6 finishers in this order: Eric Jones, Ty Dillon, unfortunately right back down to the bottom of the scoring board, Austin Cindric, Zane Smith, who was Cody Ware's replacement for this week, Anthony Alfredo, and J.J. Yaley, who went out of the race on lap 337 due to an accident. Other than that, everybody else was running at the finish. Yaley was the only retiree from that event.
And before we go on to the points, and I just found these names and mentioning them too. Tyler Reddick had an amazing run. Tyler Reddick. Todd Gilliland did a little strategy. He was running top 10 and holding his own.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. And Brad Keselowski was running up there too. So tough break to see them not have the best runs. But
Yeah.
Now let's go and look over the points. First of all, let's go down to the Truck Series points. If my thing will want to work with me. Come on. Here we go. Come on. Come on. There we go. There we go. So now that we look at the here we go. Now look at the points. Zane Smith is still top of the board with 2 wins. Corey Heim jumps to the highest among the drivers with wins. He now joins Christian Eckes and Carson Hocevar, and he's the only Toyota to get a win. If I am not mistaken. Corey Heim won his first Toyota to win in the Truck Series.
I believe so.
Let me take a look real quick.
Someone wants to go back and check me on that. Double check me just to be safe, but I'm pretty sure he is.
Chevy Ford. Yep, he is the first Toyota driver to win.
And it's with Tricon. So Tricon's slowly moving up. And I don't think we've seen an 11 truck win in a long time in the Truck Series.
Not in a while, as far as I remember. So now at the points, the Ty Majeski is still rocking ahead of the points in the Truck Series right now. He is 127 above the cut line. Ben Rhodes is 78. Grant Enfinger 37. Crafton 35. Tanner Gray
is still 27, and Matty D is up by 11. During the cutoff, Chase Purdy is down by 11 and tied with Nick Sanchez. And here's a name I don't think I've mentioned in a good bit. Jake Garcia is now in this, down 33, but he's now in this 4. So that's pretty good for the other rookie. And then ending now is Stuart Friesen down by 36. And that is the trucks. Now for the Xfinity. Austin Hill still top of the board with 3 wins, and then got the only 2-win driver of John Nemechek. With the rookies Chandler and Sammy, both with 1 win. That were screw you. Anyways. Riley Herbst, even after wrecking out, was still top of the board, but lost a good amount of points. He's now only 5 points off of Josh Berry, which Riley Herbst is up by 82. Josh Berry is now up by 77. Allgaier's up by 68. And then this is a jump from him and Cole Custer, who is up by 47. Hemrick is up by 34. Custer and Hemrick actually both moved up, passing Sheldon Creed, who's up by 30, and Sam Mayer, that's up by 22. Parker Klingerman still holding on to that last spot, just 9 points. And speaking of 9, the first person off the cutoff is Brandon Jones, 9 points down.
Oh, yeah.
Little ha-ha moment there. Ryan Sieg is only down by 14. And then separating them by 3 points, Jeb Burton is down by 36. And Brett Moffitt is down by 39. Pretty interesting for the Xfinity.
Yeah, it's definitely getting pretty tight. Well, at least starting to get to that point, you know?
And here's another group that's starting to get tight in the cutoffs. Now we're at the Cup Series, with Kyle Larson now joining his Hendrick teammate with 2 wins, being the only 2 with 2 wins.
Yay!
In this group. I just realized, how is Larson not ahead of William Byron? I actually need to go back and check that fact, because I think Larson should be ahead of Byron in that standings. I need to go back and check that. It's probably going to be something I'll have to fix later. But currently, those who are top in the 2 wins, and then still got Bell, Reddick, Logano, Kyle Busch, and Ricky Stenhouse on the wins. Now for the points part. Ross Chastain is up by 97. Harvick up by 87. Truex 66. Blaney 47. Blaney 41. Bowman 37. Brad Keselowski 35. Briscoe moves up to the 10th spot. He's actually moved up in the cut line since he was last week in the cutoff. And then Chris Buescher rounds up in 16th, just up by 6. I don't know if I mentioned that Briscoe was up by 10. I do not remember if I mentioned it or not.
No.
Here's why I say it gets tight. I mentioned Briscoe's up by 10 and Buescher's up by 6. Suarez is only down by 6 and actually tied with Michael McDowell. 6. Austin Cindric is down by 9. Ty Gibbs down by 13. Cutoff here is getting pretty tight.
Oh, yeah. And I think at this point, it'll drastically change once we go to Talladega. It's a possibility, 100%. You know? Okay, do we have any sort of major breaking stories? I don't think so.
I don't think any major. I could say that I do not. I think we brought this up last week. I think I remember we brought this up last week about Jimmy Johnson in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
We did mention that one.
Actually, no, I don't think we did. Jimmy Johnson going into the Hall of Fame, Motorsports Hall of Fame, not the NASCAR Hall of Fame, to clarify, the Motorsports Hall of Fame.
It's the most. I thought it was. I thought it did show was.
Yeah, he's going in
NASCAR.
Yeah, he's going in 2024, the Motorsports Hall of Fame. As far as the NASCAR Hall of Fame, only time will tell there. But we know for sure that no matter regardless, he's a lock.
I was about to say, it's like, I thought it was the actual NASCAR. Put him in the NASCAR Hall of Fame. I'm like, damn, they're not even putting up for a ballot for Jimmy Johnson because they know he's going to be inducted. Everyone's going to vote him. That's why I was laughing, and I was like, man, even NASCAR's like, yeah, you're an automatic lock. We're not even having people vote because you're the first one inducted.
You're just a lock no matter what.
Exactly.
So, like,
that's why I was laughing.
Here's your Hall of Fame ballot. Here's your ring. Go.
And go. Let's decide who else joins you.
My gosh.
I will say, the only news I have is that we're only a quarter of the way through this season.
A quarter of the way through. That is nuts. Nuts, so we've gotten to this point. Well, okay. I guess if there is no other news, no other big stories, why don't we go ahead and preview Talladega?
Oh boy.
So, the largest racetrack that we have on the schedule, first visit to it. And, guys, first super speedway race since the Daytona 500. Are we looking at what we witnessed last year as something to expect?
Yeah, I think.
Oh.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You talk first.
All right. So honestly, I think it's gonna be probably a lot similar to what we've been seeing with this next gen package for the Daytona Talladega. And I guess probably gonna see a lot of two wide of two different lanes, maybe a third lane, but for the Cup side, at least for whatever reason, it's hard to get a third lane going with this package. But I don't think it will stay single file. I think it will just be a lot of double file, and I think it will be a pretty good show. And then as far as Xfinity, who knows? But probably see a lot more training than what we will see in a couple races.
Mm-hmm.
The only downside for Xfinity, in my opinion, the package is great. Everywhere else, the only flaw it has is Daytona and Talladega.
I wouldn't say it's a flaw. I'd say it's definitely old school plate racing, if anything. Because it's just like no line can really get away from each other. You get an advantage, you lose it. You know,
but yeah,
it's never really like, oh, let's have three wide racing all the way around, because then that's just like, oh my gosh, it's way too early for that.
They tend to train a lot, and I mean a lot of the time.
But I personally don't mind it. I think that's old school plate racing as it should be. But we didn't hear from you, Wyatt. Yeah, go ahead.
I was about to say, for the Cup Series side, it was pretty calm in the spring race. There wasn't really a whole lot of craziness like we're used to at the spring Talladega at times. But I'd say it's going to be a pretty interesting race. We may have a surprise winner, or we may have a surprise winner. They could shake this up even more. Or we could just have a calm winner that we predicted to win.
calm before the storm.
Exactly. Xfinity is that one's always up in the air. You never know who's going to win here. Lately, it's actually been one of the top stars winning the races. Noah Gragson won last year. I mean, we could have a surprise like last year, and Jeffrey Earnhardt gets the win. Last year, he could try to maybe get the win. This year, may not be in the 3, but it would be pretty cool to see that happen.
It'd be amazing to see something like that happen. But basically popular opinion, Jeffrey Earnhardt should have won last year's race. 1,000,000% should have won.
That should have been the win. I like Noah Gragson, don't get me wrong, but that should have been the Jeffrey Earnhardt win. That was one of the best Xfinity races I've seen at Talladega.
Okay, so why don't we go ahead and let's get on down to our predictions. For those that don't know, that are brand new to the show, here's how we do our predictions. We give you a driver who we think is going to win. That's pretty simple. Driver to stay away from is the guy that hasn't been doing well the last couple weeks, or we're just coming up to a track where they suck at. The dark horse is the exact opposite, but it's Talladega. Anything could possibly happen. Who knows what we're going to see. So, without further ado, Nathan, you are up first.
Oh boy. What am I going to do this time on a super speedway? Let's see.
You're going to pick the number 5 to win.
I mean, it is JV for the not Matt Mills, so I mean, I could, but I'm not. I'm gonna spill this out here. I hate of how, okay, I give credit, the teams, they always have like unique and new sponsors and nice, beautiful paint schemes for Talladega. Just get destroyed, most likely in the big ones. And for me, as I love hot paint schemes, it pains me to see. But let me see here. I'm gonna okay. My driver to stay away from. I'm gonna go bold this week. I'm gonna say the driver to stay away from is gonna be Sheldon Creed. He might get wet, get involved in a big one, something out of his control, and that will take him out. My dark horse, I'm gonna say, my dark horse, and this might shock you guys, my dark horse is gonna be Austin Hill, not my winner.
Real? Alright.
Bless you.
Bless you.
You just destroyed my second
He's dying on us, folks.
You destroyed my second sneeze. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
He's dying on us, y'all.
So yeah, I don't think Austin Hill's gonna be the winner. I think he's still gonna be good, honestly, but I don't think he's gonna be the winner. Austin Hill's my dark horse and my winner. I'm going bold. I'm going a car. Car's gonna find the super speedway speed again, but not who you probably would think. I'm going with Derek Kraus to win.
Really? Derek Kraus?
Carl is known to be good at super speedways in the past. That's my reason.
Well, it's better than you saying Parker Retzloff as the driver to win.
I mean, he's not bad.
I will say that follow up on Nathan's thing on there about that. The last time that 10 did win was Jeff Burton in the 10 at Talladega.
But only thing that made the difference is that it was raining. That's how he got the win.
Yeah.
But for Derek Kraus, I don't think that if he does end up getting the win, depending on weather, I don't think it'll rain.
But like, I think it's gonna be. I think in this hypothetical scenario, it's gonna be kind of like what Carlos normally does. At least 2 cars will work together, get up to the front, and then like they would get a 1-2, maybe 1-2-3, and Klaus would get his first win and his third start, and he will prove to the world that he's better than Xfinity than Trucks, or he will crash on lap 3. I don't know, but that's my bold prediction. I hope not, but that's my bold prediction for Xfinity. As far as the Cup side, my driver to stay away from, my tradition continues. I hate to do it, but I know it's gonna happen. My driver to stay away from is young money Kyle Larson. I have low expectations every time we go to a Super Series as a Larson fan. 6 races out of the year, I expect 16 Fs. I'm just gonna be blunt. So, I mean, he almost won this thing last year in the Spring Talladega, so maybe has a shot, but odds probably won't, even though if he might have a fast number 5 HenryCars.com Chevy. So that's my drive to stay away from, but who knows, maybe he might surprise me. My dark horse, I'm gonna say, never mind. My dark horse is gonna be, you know what? I'm gonna say my dark horse is gonna be Corey the Joy.
Okay.
He's been fast all year long, and he's especially fast at Super Speedways. So I think he could be once again fast at the Super Speedways. And then my driver to win. This team has done a massive comeback with both cars this year, and I think this guy will finally break through and break his winning streak. I think none other than Brad Keselowski will win that Talladega.
Yeah, I like that one.
Good deal. That is definitely a good deal.
RFK's really good at Super Speedways. Brad's really good at Super Speedways, especially Talladega. So I think that's a really good opportunity for Brad to get a win instead of just pointing his way in. I think he can easily point his way into the playoffs, but this is going to be one of those races where he can easily just win.
No, yeah, 100%. Alrighty. Wyatt, you are up next.
So I'm going. So let me. For the Xfinity Series, my dark horse has won this race, but it's not in Xfinity. He's won, I think, twice in trucks. Parker Klingerman.
Wow.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Parker's pretty good at the super speedways, especially at Talladega in trucks. I don't know about Daytona as much, but he's always finding his way up to the front. And we run 2 Talladega races in the Xfinity Series. Parker Klingerman's going to find his way up. He may not win, but he's probably going to be in the hunt or close there. So Parker Klingerman is my choice. My driver to stay away from, I'd say, because you don't really need experience in this, and yes, it's a college car, but I just don't really have much faith in Chandler Smith at a super speedway. Yes, it's a college car, but it's not a Justin Hay. He's not Justin Hay. He's not AJ Allmendinger. I just don't see him. I just see him being a car getting in one of the big ones.
Right.
Chandler Smith. My driver to win, I can't go against him. He's not only is he good at super speedways, he is on a hot streak this year. He already has 3 wins, more than any of the field currently. Austin Hill. I cannot bet against Austin Hill.
Yeah.
And it's going to give RCR that win they should have had last year.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Not the number we all want, but at least the team.
At least, at the
Now-
very least.
Now the Cup Series. Dark Horse. We go from the winner Xfinity Series now to the Dark Horse in the Cup Series. We're going with Austin Hill again. Beard Motorsports is pretty good, and I mentioned before, Austin Hill is a pretty good plate racer. I think he ran good a couple times in the plate races in the Cup Series. He didn't qualify for the 500, unfortunately, but he's pretty good. Austin Hill, Dark Horse in Cup.
Okay.
My driver to stay away from is kind of a... I really don't know. You know what? From having a great start, then having a mediocre finish, to probably a race he's not the best at. I mean, he did have some crazy finishes his rookie season, but Ryan Preece. Ryan Preece is my driver to stay away from. My driver to win. Tough. I want to say Brad, but I don't think, I'm not sure about Brad this time. You know what? I'm gonna go for this one. I'm gonna go Tyler Reddick.
Oh.
I don't really have an explanation. I just have a weird feeling.
That tonight's gonna be a good night.
Tyler Reddick is my driver to win.
Well, that definitely is a pretty interesting pick, seeing as how I realize it's not the Xfinity Series, but we remember he won Talladega 4 years ago. That was ironically enough for RCR, the team that we want to possibly see win this coming weekend at Talladega. Which, switching gears here, it's my turn. So,
Run away.
anyways, so the driver to win is, well, when you get to a place like Talladega, definitely picking a winner's pretty, I would say, unless if you look at stats, picking a winner can sometimes be pretty difficult. But I would say for my guy to win, maybe I would definitely say safe pick Austin Hill as a driver to win. I mean, for obvious reasons. I mean, he's, when it comes down to super speedways, he definitely shows up and definitely can and or will get the job done. Driver to stay away from, I'm possibly gonna say Daniel Hemrick is the driver to stay away from. I don't know why, but I just don't know about Daniel Hemrick for this weekend. Dark horse. Here's an interesting dark horse for you guys. I'm gonna go with Brett Moffitt.
Oh.
Just to go a little bit bold and kind of get a little, branch off of it in a different direction here. Moffitt himself can be a pretty good super speedway racer. I mean, he's proved it before with our motorsports. He's proved it with, maybe I can't even remember any other teams that he possibly was with in Xfinity at the time, but our motorsports definitely pops up in my head for sure. But yeah, Moffitt, I'm thinking is going to be a dark horse.
Not to mention those sharp races. I think he's been pretty good at super speedway. So
easily, yeah. And now it's time for the main event. The Casey Mears, Geico 500 at Talladega. So, here we go for my driver to win. By the way, I do want to point this out. This week, it is going to be J.J. Yaley driving the number 51. Riley Herbst will be in the number 15 this weekend. But for the Cup side, driver to win, I want to say, let's go bold on this one. Not too bold, but I'd say bold. Eric Jones is going to be my driver to win.
How did I know?
How did I know? You just wanted to say that.
No, that was the name I was looking at as soon as you were saying it.
Quit taking a page out of my book, dude. But the reason why I say Eric Jones is because, of course, last year he was up front towards the end of the race until all hell broke loose coming out of turn 4. That's a race that, besides Ross Chastain, Eric Jones should have had in the bag, because he arguably probably was going to be one of the cars to beat, especially on that tail end of the race. And he was, of course, when they came off of turn number 4. So Eric Jones this year is going to be a different story. He is going to victory lane. My driver to stay away from, and this is tough. Not tough enough for me to say this. Ty Dillon's the driver to stay away from.
Wow.
Damn.
I'm sorry. I kind of lost faith in Ty. Man, just like, starts off the season terrible. He has a good run at Bristol Dirt. He has a couple good runs here and there, and then all of a sudden Martinsville. It's like there hasn't really been a whole lot to expect from Ty Dillon, other than him to have some sort of mechanical failure that isn't his problem, or any of the sorts. Blow motor. That also qualifies as a mechanical failure. That's why I'm saying Ty Dillon's the driver to stay away from. I'm sorry, but mechanical failure is in Ty Dillon's future. Dark horse, Justin Haley. Pretty easily, I'm gonna say Justin Haley is the dark horse. We all know, he is such a prolific super speedway racer in the modern day. I mean, back in 2020, he won 3 out of the 4 super speedway races in the Xfinity Series, tying a record that Dale Jr. himself has held and currently is still holding to this very day. So I'm definitely looking at Justin Haley as my dark horse. All right, so we pretty much made our predictions. We've talked about everything that we needed to. Any final thoughts before we get the Talladega weekend underway?
Well,
let's watch all the chaos.
I am excited for it every single year. Talladega falls right around my birthday, and what a race weekend to get right before my birthday. Talladega out of all places, so I'm very much looking forward to it. And let's bring it on, and hopefully we have some fantastic racing at Talladega.
Well, fingers crossed. It's going to be good. Well, that pretty much is going to do it for this week's edition of GCN. I want to thank you guys a lot for watching. If you guys like this, be sure to give it a like. If you have not considered subscribing yet, I recommend you do so in order to keep up with some fine content coming out in the near future. If you're listening to this on Spotify, be sure to hit that green follow button so you don't miss a future audio replay episode that's supposed to come out at Thursday mornings at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Hopefully. But anyways, that'll do it for us. On behalf of Nathan Stapleton and Wyatt Walker, I'm Elijah Leonard signing out. Take care, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.
See ya.
See ya.
Nice.